want to welcome everybody again to how to target your digital advertising. For those of you who don't know about SCORE, I'm sure most of you do, but we are a nationwide organization that's a resource partner of the Small Business Administration. We're a nationwide organization of mostly retired, but not entirely, business executives who love to help small businesses either get their businesses going, get them growing, and certainly to help them thrive and prosper. We have chapters and members all across the United States. So if you have an issue and our chapter particularly can't help you, we can find someone that can help you. Our services are free, or if there might be a small charge for a webinar here and there, but mostly services are for free. And we work in 3 ways. We offer webinars right now, everything's virtual. And we have lots and lots of resources, business resources, anything that you need to know about a small business, you can find on our website at centraljersey.score.org. And then we offer mentoring. So we can hook you up with 1 or 2 mentors and help you with your specific business. And again, the mentoring is all for free. We service Middlesex, Somerset, and Hunterdon counties. But since we're virtual, everybody is helping everybody. So the location really doesn't make any difference anymore. So we would love to have you contact us and hook you up with a mentor that can help you with some specifics with your business. So come visit us. We're really excited to have Sheila Donovan back. She did some great webinar for us earlier in the summer. And she's going to talk to us today about our digital advertising. This kind of builds on the webinar we did on Wednesday with reference solutions with the big database. So Sheila is going to reference solutions, which is the new name for Reference USA. For those of you that don't know, they've just rebranded themselves. Sheila is the founder and of Real Clear Marketing. And she's, I really thank you for joining us today. She's got great information for us. So Sheila, take it away.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me just get this going and bear with me just a second. Got to get this all squared away here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna.
While we're waiting, this session is being recorded for your information. So in a couple of days, you can go to our website and you can see the recorded presentation again if you'd like to do that.
Okay, well, first I want to thank Central New Jersey SCORE for inviting me. I love helping small businesses. I love sharing my knowledge. So it's always a delight to have this platform. And thanks so much, Jane, for inviting me again. I'm Sheila Donovan, founder of Real Clear Marketing. You'll find me at realclearmarketing.com, also on LinkedIn. And I do have a Sheila Donovan website as well because I can't get enough of the web. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I have 25 years of global marketing experience, and I had served clients like Cornell University, Chanel, Dell, DHL, Forbes. You can read the list yourself. National Geographic was one of my favorites, but then the world changed and I sold the global marketing company just last October of 2019. And I had to pivot in my business because there were 2 major pivots. So after 25 years in the business, I specialized in, if you wanted data, if you wanted a list of Japanese women likely to buy children's clothing or German men likely to subscribe to a business journal, that was really what I did, and also built databases for these companies so that they could market overseas. And then the world changed. So before 9/11, I was really in the mailing business. After 9/11, I had no choice but to get out of the mailing business, and that really thrust me into the data business. And then my recent pivot out of the global marketing arena is really due to European privacy laws. They're very, very strict over there, and it became very, very difficult to handle the large data sets that I wanted to. I basically would have to open a European center to do the kind of work I was doing. So I just pivoted into social media marketing. And I've always loved working with small businesses. So I decided to go into digital marketing for small businesses. And here I am today. My goals for today, I think every presentation should have some goals. And I want to show you how to identify your target audience on Facebook and Instagram. I want to show you the #1 strategy for digital marketing and the types of ads that are available on digital platforms. There are some important facts that I want to bring up. And I want to tell everybody that social media marketing is pay to play today. When I work with a lot of businesses, especially small ones, they said, well, I post on Facebook all the time and nobody ever responds to it. That's because Facebook and Instagram and all the big platforms, with the exception of TikTok, are really pay to play. If you want your stuff to be seen, you have to pay for paid advertisements, unless you have a super engaged following. So between 1% to 2% of your fans or followers will see your content organically. The good news is that you can advertise with very low and moderate budgets, especially if you're a local business. If you're somewhere, serving the Somerset County community, or even the town of Somerset or the town of Boonton where I am, a lot of small businesses serve small areas. So you can really market effectively with a low budget. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. The best news is that you can test and develop audiences inexpensively, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So some important terminology I want to share with you is, and the marketing math, you have to spend money to make money. Yes, it's true. I just touched upon that in social media. It's pay to play. And how much will you spend to acquire a new customer? That's something that you need to figure out. So let's say you own an ice cream shop. And you got to figure out, if you get a new customer and they're a loyal customer, how much money will they bring to you over their lifetime? If you own a law firm, it's something totally different. You would be willing to pay more for a lead or more for a new customer. So how much you'll spend on advertising should be aligned with the type of business you have. I know I have one customer who was more than happy to pay $100 a lead, and she's a consultant. But you want to understand what the lifetime value of your customer is. There are a couple of metrics that you should look at. Cost per thousand when you're dealing with digital advertising. What are you paying in terms of cost per thousand? And what are you paying in terms of cost per click? The new word is not return on investment, it's return on ad spend. When you get involved in digital advertising, you want to know what your return on ad spend is. And most people, one of the most successful strategies in digital marketing is the marketing funnel. So let's talk about why digital marketing is so powerful. Well, it lets you inside the head of the consumer. And we all have one brain, and the human brain has between 50 and 70,000 thoughts per day. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to break those thoughts into two categories: your work life and your personal life. So people have all these different thoughts all day long, and sometimes you have personal thoughts at work or work thoughts at home. You might be thinking, if you're thinking about work, vendor selection, your next promotion, personal development, your next deadline. If you're thinking about your personal life, you might be thinking about college funds, insurance, your mortgage, personal safety. So digital marketing lets you inside the head of the consumer, because when we see something online that interests us and relates to us, we click on it. And like it or not, everything you click on, and I mean everything you click on online, is tracked and analyzed, especially by the big platforms. So they know if you're interested in mortgages. They know if you're interested in work, in achieving some deadline, or looking for personal development tools. But let's go back to the mortgage example. Facebook, Instagram, all the online platforms they have a lot of artificial intelligence, and they're very intuitive. So if you're shopping for mortgages right now, they know in a few months you're going to be shopping for furniture. So it's pretty intuitive stuff, and they really do understand the customer journey, which is what I want to talk about very shortly. But big platforms monetize your interest, and I'll get into showing you how to do targeting online. So they're obviously selling ads online, and they don't sell you exact search history, but they do allow advertisers to tap into what you're interested in. So consumer targeting, what would you want to know about your customers? First and foremost, location. Gender is important if you have a product that's specific to one gender or another. The age, if age matters, like if you own a restaurant, it may not matter at all. The income may or may not matter. It really depends. I know financial advisors like to target people with higher incomes, but it's a little bit tricky with income targeting, because Facebook used to allow you to target exactly on the income. Now it's just ranges. And frankly, if you don't need it, don't use it, because it's just going to increase the cost of your ads. Education may or may not matter, because if you own a restaurant again, or if you're an attorney, it doesn't matter. But I'll give you an example. Like if you're selling opera tickets, educated people are more likely to be interested in opera than uneducated people or high school graduates. Presence of children, if you have a product that's specific to children, obviously you would need children in the household. Marital status may or may not matter. Lifestyle indicators, and this is what's available to you on the platforms. In days of old, when I was doing a lot of work for like National Geographic and the like, we would have no choice but to buy lists of magazine subscribers for National Geographic and catalog lists and the like. We'd build these massive databases to compile interests. Now it's instantaneous. You click on something online, they're going to track your interest. And it also tracks like lifestyle indicators. Are you a foodie? Are you into beauty? Are you a busy mom? Are you into healthy lifestyles, animals, travel, sports, investing? So that's very powerful information. And also the emotional triggers. I talk about this a lot. People buy for one or two reasons: pain or gain. Something as simple as a good meal at a restaurant makes you happy, and it's in the gain category. It makes you feel good. It's something that you want, and again, makes you feel good. Pain, if your roof leaks, that's a problem. That's a pain point. How are you going to solve that? If you're having issues with your investing, whatever it is, it's usually one of two categories: pain or gain. And also you want to focus on the likes and dislikes of your target audience, but that's more about the messaging. But emotional triggers are very powerful when targeting online. Business targeting, Firmographics is the equivalent of demographics in a consumer. So Firmographics indicate things like location, industry, number of employees, annual sales. Are you selling to big companies, small companies, construction companies, manufacturing firms, law firms? All of that's important in your targeting. Job function of the decision maker. Everybody wants to sell to the president, but in reality, sometimes you start with somebody else. Could be the buyer, the manager, the engineer. And the gender may or may not be important. If you sell in the construction industry, you're probably selling to more men than women. So these are all of the things you want to take into account, and the problem that you solve. So I talk about pain and gain. In the business world, it's more like the problem that you solve. Is it inefficiency, communications, accounting, staffing issues? What's the problem that you solve? So I mentioned that I was going to talk about the #1 strategy for digital marketers. And I want to go through all of this and the targeting before I show you how to do the research for the targeting, so that you understand how to use this. So many people will just tell you how to do the research. I want to make sure you understand how to use it. One of the big ways you're going to use it is in your marketing funnel. And the marketing funnel is the #1 strategy for digital marketers. We all use them. It makes a lot of sense. And let me just get the next, okay, we go. Okay, so it's an automated process of identifying prospects and converting them to customers, but you have to target the right audience. It's critical. If you're talking to the wrong people, the best creative, the best videos, the best ad copy will fall flat, because people will never go through your marketing funnel. They will not follow the process. So let's talk about the customer journey through the marketing funnel. In the awareness stage, somebody will see your ad, your video, maybe they'll get an email. You can do broadcast emails through a platform like Google targeting. They don't really know you, they become aware of you. They might see a post on LinkedIn or somewhere online. So that's a big group of people. And the people in red are those that are flatly not interested. The golden people are those that you want as customers. Gray are, not so interested. And the green are possibles. As they go through the funnel, people become more engaged, and those that are not interested are not going to take that next step. So engagement means that they click on your ad or watch your video. In the discovery phase, they take the desired action you want them to take. When you're doing online ads, there's always a button, or you don't always have to have a button, but there's usually a call to action. They want you to do something. Sign up, call now, learn more, whatever it is. In the discovery phase, they discover more about you, and purchase is self-explanatory. We want everybody to purchase, but that's where you get a customer. And retention, very important, is getting people to continually buy. And that's what people forget to do sometimes online. Even myself, I always send out emails, but I'm going to start doing some retargeting ads to people that have bought from me online, and I'm going to do them on Facebook and on Instagram. So this is the #1 strategy for digital marketing. So if you're doing targeting online and you're trying to execute that marketing funnel that I just showed you, you always have to have an advertising objective. How are you going to get people to go through that marketing funnel? And there's 3 categories. On Facebook and Instagram, there's awareness, consideration, and conversion. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. So these are the 3 categories. Awareness, they become aware of you. Consideration, they take more action and start clicking on your ad. They could go to your website, they could fill out a form, and conversion is the category where they buy. What's interesting is even Pinterest, right? So I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram here. Even Pinterest has the same categories: build awareness, drive consideration, or get conversions. So when you're building a target audience, which I'm going to show you how we're doing in a few moments, you really have to understand where in the process they are. You know, you could constantly bring in new audiences. I test new audiences all the time, but you want to understand where they're going to be in that marketing funnel. So let's take a look at the type of ads that are out there. So this is what you would find for Facebook or Instagram. So in the awareness category, we have brand awareness and reach. And this is the least expensive. It's the top of the funnel, least expensive type of ad. And now you can create a target audience, but we're not asking them to do anything, right? We're not asking them to click on a link and go to your website. We're not asking them to necessarily buy anything. You certainly could, but these are more awareness type ads. So think of like Home Depot. They mail a flyer or a coupon to everybody in the target area. And they do have some targeting, but they use mass mailings through the Postal Service and the like. They just want everyone to know that they're there. I see a lot of the hospitals and urgent care centers do this as well. So you could do you can start with an awareness ad. I often do. And this is where I test different audiences. How well is it going to perform before I drop big bucks on a more engaged audience? So Facebook and Instagram and every platform, they know our behavior. They know people that are likely to click on a link and go to a website. They can tell who is more likely to fill out a lead generation form or use the messaging tool on Facebook to contact an advertiser. So they know that. So they will show your ads to this group if you choose to do a consideration ad. And conversion, the final, that's more expensive than the top of the funnel, is the middle of the funnel. And the bottom of the funnel, purchase, if you want to go straight and try to sell your product or service through a conversion ad on Facebook, you certainly can. Lots of people do it and very successfully. It's just going to be more expensive because those are the people that have exhibited the behavior that Facebook knows are more likely to take the action that you want. So that would be the most expensive type of ad. So let's take a look at Facebook and Instagram ads, just to give you an idea. So I'm going to do a 25-mile radius around Morris Plains, and I want millennials with children. And the potential reach of that group, which is age 25 to 39, and they have children in all different age ranges, a 25-mile radius around Morris Plains, is approximately 61,000 people. But let's say I'm advertising for a restaurant. If I add interest in Olive Garden, Applebee's, or TGI Fridays, that universe drops down to 29,000 people. So remember, I said everything we click on online, search for online, is tracked and analyzed. So Facebook knows who's interested in these particular restaurants. And if you have a restaurant that is similar or competes with those, could be a fine choice. So that would be a much smaller audience. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Baby
Sheila?
boomers. Yeah.
Sheila, just a quick question. I'm sorry to interrupt, but how do you know that millennials with children, potential reach is 61, etc.
Oh,
Where did you get
millennials
that
with children.
information?
Oh, I'm going to show you that on Facebook in just a moment. So
Okay.
we're
Sorry.
going to do some research because this is all from Facebook. So this is when I get into Facebook and I start doing some targeting and selecting my audience, which we're going to get to in just a moment. So, so just the other end of the spectrum, baby boomers, where we have 55 to 65, 25-mile radius around Morris Plains is 180,000 people. But if I was doing something for home improvement company, that would be 35,000 people because I could target people that are interested in home improvements and retirement. So you can see the power of the targeting on Facebook. So it's funny that you asked, Jane, because here we are. We're going to do some demos right now. So let me just get, share my screen. Hold on a second. And I noticed some chats there, Jane. Do you want to see if there's any questions while I'm bringing up Facebook?
Someone just wants to know if it's recorded. Yes, it
Okay.
is being recorded. It will be on the centraljersey.score.org website in a couple of days.
Okay.
And I believe Sheila will make her slide deck available. Is that true or not?
Well, I have the handout, which is actually
Oh,
better.
I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah,
Sheila
right.
has a great handout.
Right.
So if you will contact her, she will send that to you. And it includes all the information that's on her slide.
Right. So this is
someone wants to know which is a better platform to place an ad.
I'm going to get to that kind of at the end. So I want to show you how we could target an audience. And we're going to also take a look at Reference USA, which has rebranded to another name. Let me see. There's more.
Reference Solutions.
Reference Solutions. Great. Thanks. Which is a better platform. I'll answer that in just a moment. And Tony, is this presentation? Okay. So if this is not familiar with any of you, this is inside Facebook Ads Manager. And this is one of my ad accounts. So I'll show you in the slides and it's included in the handout. I don't have time in this presentation to show you how to set up an ad account. Super easy. If you have a business page, you must have a business page, and then you can just follow the links that I provide and you can set up an ad account. You must have an ad account. And I recommend using Business Manager as well. Facebook is forcing everyone to go to Business Manager these days because they can authenticate you a lot more. All right, so I'm an Ads Manager. And the first thing we want to do is figure out an audience. And there's 9 dots. See over here? I'm going to click on that. And that brings up all of the Facebook tools. And I'm just going to go to audiences. We're going to create an audience around Somerset. So let me just, okay. So if we want to create an audience, there's a couple of different type of audiences, custom audiences. You can load your email list and serve ads to people who are on your email list. A lookalike audience is similar to people that have responded to your ads, similar to people that are on your email list. There are a variety of lookalike audiences that you can create. Facebook finds people that exhibit the same behavior, are in the same classification, age range, demographics as your audience, and creates a lookalike audience. Special ads audience, this is for people that are in anything to do with housing. Now is the special ads category. You cannot discriminate against anyone. They really took off almost all targeting. If you're in real estate, you have to do very broad targeting in your area. You cannot discriminate by income or anything. And another special ad category, no surprise, is political ads. And they're really clamping down on political ads. So I just got a notification on that, but I don't do those happily. Saved audience is what we're going to do. And we're going to target a saved audience. So we're going to look for an audience. And Jane, do you have any ideas? How about we do a small business audience for you? Are you able to merge audiences with a look? No, you cannot merge audiences. No, I've tried that. There are some ways that you can use the criteria, but I've never been able to merge an audience. So we're going to put in zip code 08873. And it's Middlebush, New Jersey. Is that right, Jane? I'm going to put
Yeah, it's Somerset. I don't know why it's saying Middlebush, but yeah, that's close.
let me see, Somerset, New Jersey.
It's the same area, so that's fine.
Yeah, Somerset, New Jersey, right? So the potential audience in Somerset, New Jersey, plus 25-mile radius, that's kind of big. You know, let's go down a little bit. How far are people going? Well, actually for Jane, that might work. So we'll do 25 miles, right? And if Jane is interested in people maybe 35 to 55, right?
Sounds good.
35 to 55. I'm just, you know, for score, 55. And people that are interested in small businesses and things like SCORE. So they would likely be interested in the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce. And then you can just do suggestions, small business owners, behaviors, and just select, you know, job titles, anything that really kind of is the profile of your target audience, owner and CEO. Generally, I kind of keep job titles and interests separate. I would do 2 different audiences to see which performed better, but I'm just going to do a bunch to see what comes up and see what our audience is. So there's about 130,000 people in Somerset. So we can just go on from here. Let me just do a few more suggestions. Self-employment, entrepreneurship, freelancer. Okay, so this would be our audience, and I'm going to name this audience Small Biz Somerset. Okay, so I could just create this saved audience, which is what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to take you to another source, which is was called Info USA, and now I can't remember what their name is. Let me just, should have had this open. I did have it open, but I closed it by accident. Main library.
So someone says, are you able to create an audience on a larger scale like all of the US?
Yes, absolutely. I do all the time. Absolutely. So this is what I want to talk about now, and let me just go to my slides again, is the fact that you can access other data that's available online. Let me just see if it's here. Okay, all right, that's actually not it. So we have Facebook, but do I believe Facebook? So my long career in database marketing, I learned to never really trust one source. I always look at other sources. So if you have a public library card, you can access the Reference USA, which they've called something else right now, database through your public library. So I'm on the Morris County, because I'm in Morris County, New Jersey. And if you scroll down to their business resources, let me just scroll down here to Reference Solutions, which is what they're called now, as Jane has pointed out, and you just accept the terms and conditions. And I'm now in the reference, now they're also called Data Axle. I guess they've decided to call themselves Data Axle.
That's the corporate name, but the database is Reference Solutions.
Reference Solutions. Okay, yeah, I just figured this out yesterday. So this has a variety of databases. So we have US businesses. We also have US new businesses. I use US new businesses a lot because I want to find out where new businesses are. They often need help with marketing, Canadian businesses and the like. But let's take a look at US businesses. And I'm going to go, you can look up one individual company here. I'm just going to go straight to advanced search. All right. Now we know that we want to look in, I'm going to just do a certain zip code. Actually, I'm going to do similar to what I did on Facebook, a radius around a zip code, and it's 08873. And I want to do 25 miles like I do on Facebook. And I just want to update the counts. 167,658. So if we go back to Facebook, we can see our small business count in Somerset is 510,000 people. That's a lot. So we want to definitely take a closer look at this audience. And like I said, I would probably go through this and separate out the interest versus job titles, because you can also go in and browse in Facebook and look at the demographics, and you can look at work, and you could look at job titles, and just type in business owner. And you would have business owner, and you could start to do more suggestions this way. So I point this out to you because sometimes you'll see a huge discrepancy, as we have here, where we only have, we have 510,000 people, but according to Reference Solutions, there's 167,000 people in a 25-mile radius around Somerset. Now, we can also find out more information on this by going to the report. So we want to update the counts, and then we're going to view the results. So we can see what type of businesses, because that would be good information. We want to find out who we can target. And this is more, to me, more informative than Facebook, because Facebook's never going to give you this kind of a chart. So this chart is just amazing. It's just really useful. Now, we could have one thing that often counts for discrepancies is chains like CVS Pharmacy, McDonald's. They're sometimes corporate owned and not necessarily small businesses. Physicians and surgeons, restaurants, attorneys, dentists, automated teller machines, and we can go on. So we can see the breakdown in the type of businesses in that area. So this market research is very helpful in refining our Facebook audience, because depending on your business and who you want to serve, if you're selling to businesses in this area, as Jane would, and she wanted to target people for the SCORE events and letting them know about SCORE, well, she has a lot of people in this 25-mile radius. Now, another thing to look at on this, if we go back to the results, you can count one person per business. I think this is counting just businesses. So there may be multiple people at a business. So if we went back to revise our search. So we would go back, and in here, somewhere it says one person, executive name, verified businesses. In here, you can find where it says select one person per business. So this gives you some insight as to the type of businesses. Now, this is a very big audience, so I would continue to do some work here. Now, if Jane wanted to target, let's say, dentists, she could go in and just browse and go back to demographics and go to work and target people that say they're dentists, or dentists, interests that dentists might have, like the American Dental Association. Who would you want to target, Jane? Any idea while I'm here?
Small business owners.
Yeah.
We did right already.
Yeah, so we did small business owners.
Home-based businesses.
Home-based businesses, we have that here. So it's a very large audience. So if I were here, I would separate out some of the home.
Take out Chamber of Commerce, maybe.
Well, Chamber of Commerce is 24 million, and that's an interest. So I would work on this a little bit more. Are you able to create an audience on a large scale? Like, yeah, can you export all audience information? Okay. What kind of search help a retail business? Okay, so I see there's Shika is asking about retail businesses. So this was an example for Jane, but I'm going to stop this audience. Shika, can you answer? Just type in the chat, what kind of retail business? Are you food? Are you clothing? Just tell me what you are. There's also a question to get to the 9-dot audience business account. Is there a cost involved? No, Larry, there's not. So Shika, can you just type in I have handmade scarves. Okay, so Shika, let's do Shika's example. So we're going to do another audience, and Larry, business manager, you can set them up for free. And if you can follow these techniques, you can test different audiences. So let me just get to the right account. There we go. Okay, so here we are. So for Chico, we're gonna create a saved audience, handmade scarves. So that would be an interest in fashion. And let's just say scarves. So Somerset would be Somerset, New Jersey. We'll bring that up again. Somerset, New Jersey. Kind of create Somerset, New Jersey. Why is it not showing up? Let me just see. Just type in New Jersey, see if that brings it up. Somerset, New Jersey, perfect. Sometimes you have to spell out the state, and let's just say 15 miles, because I don't know that people are going to go that far to buy a clothing item. So maybe they'll go 15 miles, 10 or 15 miles. So we would want to probably target mostly women, and they would be interested in fashion. Now, if there's a particular business that is competitive, I have no pops this year. Okay, so you have an online business. Okay, something like fashion, shopping and fashion would be an interest, but you want to be a lot more specific. So are they you know, is there something about these scarves that make them unusual? They're handmade? Okay, so we could do suggestions. Online shopping would be a good one, but we would want to zone in on the clothing interest. So women's clothing may be another, or let's see if we can find anything with scarves. So who are the big scarf manufacturers? Scarf, okay.
CARVE.
Yeah, CAR. Scarf. Yeah. Shika, do you have any interest? Like what? Like who's a big competitor in the scarf industry? That's who you would want to target here. So you definitely would want to. I'm trying to think of. I'm not that big in fashion, so let's just say, for our argument's sake, that Chanel. If they were interested in Chanel, you could target Chanel, which is the Coco Chanel, interests like that. So you would definitely want to find out, like, who else are they looking at online? Maybe Etsy, they would be looking at as well. Etsy, because there's a lot of handmade items on Etsy, Etsy jewelry, Etsy everything. Let's see, Etsy jewelry. And you have a potential audience of 610,000. Now, if you remove this, somebody asked about nationwide. If you just removed your geographic selection, we would just put in the United States and it would pull up the entire country. I will give you one insider tip. I never target the United States. I always hub around cities because it's, for me, like, you know, North Dakota, South Dakota, there's not a lot of business for me. So why would I even target that area? So you really want to understand the geography. And to do that, you could look here if you were marketing businesses. Now, if we went back to reference solutions, we could also take a look at US consumers. So consumers and lifestyles. So if you were looking for, you know, women of a certain age, or you wanted to understand a certain geography, how many women are there in Chicago? If you were trying to decide to run ads in Chicago versus New York, this would be helpful. All right. Does it make sense to go to individual PIN codes or cities? Yes. New York, for sure. There's no point in, I would target New York. I would target fashion centers and start there. And then you can go wider from there. But I always, that's one of the best tips I give people is, if you're going to target the whole United States, that's a lot of geography to cover. And you'll churn through all types of rural and suburban areas. Go to New York. So you could do something like, in your targeting, just New York DMA, which is the marketing area, defined, designated marketing area. Then you could do Chicago. and work your way across the country. Chicago, DMA. So that DMA's designated market areas are how television stations categorize areas. So you can see it's not only Chicago, but it's Joliet, Gary, Elgin, Aurora, and the like. Only US. Oh yeah, you can target another country. Yeah, you can target another country. So my parents are from Ireland, so let's do that. I've spent a lot of time overseas too. So you can target Ireland. Now, once you go outside of the United States, understand that there's different privacy laws in the European Union. And I talked about that earlier. That is a tough thing to comply with. There was a recent change by the US government. It's called Privacy Shield, which is no longer valid. If you violate European Union privacy law in the handling of a consumer's data, you can be fined pretty heavily. And they do fine people. So just know that the US, the European Union, Latin America doesn't really have as strict rules. Japan does. It depends on the country. But before you start investing big money in marketing in another country, make sure that you understand the privacy laws. It's a hot issue, hot issue. Now, if you're marketing through Facebook, technically Facebook should be the one who's responsible for the privacy compliance. But the minute you sell them something, the minute you take their email address or name and address information, now you've taken personal data from the European Union and transferred it to the US. Big issue. So, okay. Any other questions? How do you find guidelines for other countries? So, Lisa, I would definitely recommend the US Department of Commerce and export.gov. So let me just put that in here. If I can I'll type an answer. So go to export.gov. And you'll find, okay, so I'm going to just send that. Export.gov is part of the US. And Jane, maybe you can speak about that if you know anything about it. I've used export.gov. It's part of the Department of Commerce. Great resources. They help small businesses. They give out a ton of money. If you can create a product that you can sell outside the US, they are all about exporting. So they have a lot of money to help you do that. Okay, any questions or comments? Jane, anybody? Hello? Hello? Jane?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Any questions or comments? Anybody? I see we still have.
Once I've created my target audience, then now what should I do?
Okay, so then you have to go and create some Facebook ads. So over here, and this is a subject unto itself. There are so many different ads that you can create in Facebook. So let me just get to the right campaign for it. Okay, so there's so many different types of ads that you create. So remember, I said there's awareness ads, consideration ads, conversion ads. You can also do boosted posts to a target audience. So this is, Facebook's platform creating ads. It's depending on what you're doing. So if you're new to it, this is the most expensive column. Let me just tell you that. It's the most complicated column because to do conversion ads, you have to have landing pages and all this kind of stuff. Store traffic might not be bad. But my advice is if you're new to Facebook ads, do something like a brand awareness, reach, or even a boosted post. When you go to boost a post, you can select the audience. And if you've gone through and created different audiences, then you can do something very inexpensively and see how people respond. See how people respond. Because let me go back to my PowerPoint. I want to share some of the statistics from my ads on, all right. So let me just back up a minute. So to set up a target audience on Facebook and Instagram, you must have a Facebook business page, and you can find step-by-step, facebook.com/business. Everything you'd ever want to know about using Facebook for advertising can be found there. And you want to log into ads account click on create an audience, and I have that free download. Now, my results over Memorial Day weekend, because I used a target audience, and this was a boosted post strategy. So I had a video ad and just a regular still image ad. And I did, I try not to spend a lot of money in early days. If I'm testing an audience, I want to spend like $10 or less. Seriously, you can figure out pretty quickly which audience works better without spending a fortune. And here you can see my result rate was 67.42% on this particular ad, which is the vast middle. Now, part of that might be attributable to the fact that it was a video versus a still ad, but the audience targeting is critical. So let me see if there's any other questions. Great presentation. Thank you. I find a target and message them directly there. Oh, Larry, be careful with finding and messaging people on Facebook. You could get flagged and get no response. Okay, I also attach a marketing piece. You sell commercial insurance. You could get flagged. That's a violation of terms, Larry. I managed to get some traffic to the website, but no conversions. Okay, so Shika, you can run some ads, and Shika, put it on LinkedIn. Seriously, there's a great story about a woman who sold $400 bikinis, and she became famous because she started selling on LinkedIn, not on Facebook. Like my last ad had a reach of 46K, but only, ooh, okay, so you had 46,000 people see your ad, but 54 clicks. Shika, it's your targeting, and I'm sorry, I don't know the fashion business that much. Who is selling killer scarves? Is it Chanel? Or maybe your scarves appear to people that are into organic, natural, natural fabrics. And there's people out there that are selling that. Even like Bowl and Branch sheets. Now that's sheets, they're all organic, whatever. There's people that sell eco-friendly, organic, handmade, not, cookie cutter clothing. Find out who those people are and you can target them. LinkedIn has paid advertisement. Yes, it does. Janetta, I don't use it. It's so expensive. It's like $25 a click. I've done it a few times. It's a little bit expensive for me. The method I use on LinkedIn is direct messaging. I like, comment, and share people's stuff. And then I just direct message people. That's what I find to be effective for me. Thank you so much. Shika, happy to help. And please, let me just go through the end of this presentation because I want to put my slide up. So one thing about Facebook ads, this is also the same information you'll get for Instagram. It's very helpful. We talked about geography and marketing to the whole US. I don't necessarily do that. Hub around major cities if you're going nationwide, somebody like Shika. But it will tell you very quickly what areas are performing the best for you after you run an ad for a few days. Then I get all kinds of information. I was surprised how many men actually responded to my ad, but it gives you insight. I often think women respond to me better. It's not always the case. So here's my contact details. You can email me, hello@SheilaDonovan.com. There's my phone number. I welcome any of you that have any questions about this presentation to follow up. And then I have a free download at realclearmarketing.com/rebound marketing. You can also find me on LinkedIn. And so that's about it. Jane, do you have any questions? I know I have given a lot of information here, so hopefully it's not too much.
It is a lot of information, but it's an involved topic. So my suggestion to people is to use Sheila's handout, email Sheila and get her free guide and work through that guide kind of step by step, and then call Sheila if you need assistance with that.
Right.
You can also do the same thing by talking with the SCORE mentor, and we would be happy to help you as well.
Right.
So
and
lots of resources for assistance.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. And if you do sign up for this guide or email me, I'm launching everybody needs help these days. Every small business needs help. So I'm launching a very low cost ad targeting about boosted posts and like beginner Facebook 101. And it's only going to be $27. So if you're interested, email me and I'll get you on the list or sign up.
That sounds great. Sounds great. So I think we answered, I'm just going to do a quick check. I think we answered all of the questions.
We did.
Great.
I did.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's
And
great.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you at another webinar. I think the basic thing is just to step back, use the free guide, and go through it step by step yourself to figure this stuff out. If you haven't been on Facebook, if you haven't used reference solutions, you have to kind of play around with it a little bit and get a little bit proficient with it and then move on from there.
Right.
So take it step by step and you'll get there.
Yeah. And I do encourage you to think about your audiences. So I have different audiences. There's people, I work with logistics companies and e-commerce people, but there's also brick and mortar people that I serve. Those are distinct audiences. You do not have to have one audience. And I encourage you to try to think of three, because one of them is going to work better than the other. And that's what's going to launch your business. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to serve everyone. The riches are in the niches. That's a common story we hear on Facebook. You don't have to serve, you don't have to be everything to everyone, but if you can be almost everything to someone and as a group, you'll do really well. So think about a couple of different audiences and you'll find your winning mix. And that's that.
I do have a question I didn't pick up. I'm a painter in Middlesex County. How would you target my services?
A what in Middlesex County?
A painter.
A painter. So a painter in Middlesex County, I would, CertaPro painters, I'd target them because they're definitely advertise a lot. So why not look at that? Another one would be HGTV, because if somebody's thinking about painting their house, they're either looking at Joanna Gaines or Property Brothers or somebody like that. But I would layer in a couple of different interests, and I would do the painters like in two different groups. There's a lot of baby boomers that want to sell their house. I would do that because if you're going to do separate ads, it has to appeal to the group. So if you're trying to target baby boomers that are going to sell their house in this killer market, this great market, and they just need a coat of paint on the house, that's a different image. That's a different ad copy. That's a different audience. And then there's people that have just bought a house or they just want to freshen up their house and maybe they have kids. So painters and home improvement, you've got to think about your audience in different pockets and you'll do well, because if you were to hit the baby boomers and say, hey, selling your house, want to get the best money for your house in this great market, you put a fresh coat of paint on it or something like that, and that would work. All right, I think, do you paint exterior houses? She's, well, Janetta is asking the painter if he paints houses. So maybe Janetta wants her house painted. Okay.
Okay, that is great. I want to thank everyone for attending the webinar today. We really appreciate your attendance. And I especially want to thank Sheila. I always learn something from your webinars, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad I could be of help. And everybody, just one step at a time, little by little. You know, don't be intimidated by Facebook. I'm telling you, it's such a great Facebook, Instagram, and soon to be TikTok. I'm getting into TikTok. It's a different game, but try it. Don't spend a ton of money. Just get out there. That will work. You know, eventually it'll work. So
just do it.
Just do it. Just do it.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to
take care. Right now.
Sheila, can I contact you?
Yeah, I'll stay.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
That was good. That's a lot of information. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it is a lot of information. But did it flow? Did it make sense?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think it might have been helpful, and I don't know how much people know, to identify that there are two pieces of it. There's the research piece, which you were really focusing on today, and then there's the creation of the ad piece. Mm-hmm. So that's very good.
Yeah, so the creation of the ad piece, that's why I'm going to introduce these really low cost, like, you know, $27, like, how do you create an audience and create a boosted post? How do you do this? Because people get just, I'm amazed. I met a woman not too long ago. She spent $450 something on Facebook ads and got nothing because she doesn't know what she's doing, you know? So that's why I try to instill upon that. But are people still here or everybody's
Yeah,
left?
I have 3 people that I'd asked to, if they would, Bob and Dairyman and Joseph, if you wouldn't mind ending the webinar for us. Yeah, still have 2 people on. If you wouldn't, Bob and Dairyman, if you wouldn't mind clicking on end the webinar. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
He's gone.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, that was great. I've got to work a little more with my clients on this, and then I'll refer people to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, what I may want to do is I want to, if I could, come up with some kind of a special deal for like SCORE. Maybe not the $27 one, but I'd be happy. I don't know if you can do this revenue share, like for every course that, no, you can't do it. Okay. So then what I could do is just like make a donation, you know, to SCORE.
That's fine. We just like people who can help our clients.
Right.
I can't specifically recommend you, but what I would do is give you and then a couple of other names, anonymous names or something, that say, you know, here are 3 people that do this.
Right.
I've worked with Sheila and I think she's really good.
Right.
So,
but also just having the opportunity to do these presentations and get myself out there, I think that really helps and people get to see me.
Yeah.
And I'll have to see how many people sign up for that guide. So anyhow, but so this, first I'm doing the Ubiquitous Marketing, which is the pretty much the presentation that I did for you guys a couple of weeks ago with a little bit more, showing them how to create an audience, how to create boosted posts, how to, you know, make a video, how to use Canva, all the basics to get them started. That's their sea legs, right? That's when they just start, and they don't have to spend big money. They're not going to freak out that, you know, they've just dropped $50 and got nothing. So, and then the retail.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah. Then I think people will come to they'll try it and then they'll come to you to get more refinement
right.
on it.
And then retail to e-tail, that's going to be a little bit more involved and a little bit more specific. Because it's going to be inexpensive though, because I think businesses just need help, and Main Street America is just going to, I don't know what's going to happen to Main Street America. Do you? It's crazy.
No, people that I have who are pivoting and figuring it out are doing well. In fact, I have one client who's going to double her revenue this year.
And what kind of business is she in?
She's wow, she's a creative genius. She does parties, like birthday parties for not for kids, but could be a shower for a bride or a baby shower. And her it's called Creative Twist, and her twist is that she always does a little project. So if you want a unicorn party for your daughter, she'll do a unicorn craft or a slime craft or something. And she's extremely creative. So she was booked the month of March for her parties, and then boom. So she just took all that stuff that she had, all of the supplies that she had, reboxed them into craft kits and sold them to parents to keep these kids engaged and busy. She sold out of those craft kits and got rid of her inventory, like boom. Then she decided people can't really have parties, and that was kind of sad. So she does balloons, beautiful, gorgeous balloon things. So she did Paint Your Porch, and they're these gorgeous balloon, they're not bouquets, they're decorative balloons.
Yeah, like
And
arches and stuff like that.
yeah. So she would decorate your porch for, your 6th grade birthday. So she'd do it beautifully for the girl or for whomever. We did it for a friend of ours, and people would drive by and all of that. And she went nuts with the balloons. Then
Wow.
she did summer camp. So she did some social distancing. So she would do it in your yard with 2 or 3 kids distanced. She has a little place at her shop that she could do some. So she did summer camps all summer long.
Wow.
Crafts. She does a lot of crafts, and she's extremely creative, and she
Yeah.
does beautiful stuff. I mean, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
So she's and
Yeah,
then she
you had an
partners with a guy who's a chef. So they did even family parties where they did carnival. So he created this whole food for the family for 5 people. And then they did family crafts to together celebrate carnival or, Halloween, whatever you want. So
wow.
she's
Yeah, see, it's pivot or perish these days.
yeah.
Seriously, isn't it? So I think who I saw, the questions that we got from your audience today, you really had a good mix of people here. And we got a lot of good presentation, extremely informative. Larry should stop messaging people on Facebook. He's going to get in trouble. And Shika. So yeah, I think it was good. Yeah, it is a lot of information. I want to kind of take them to the next level, which is I want to get people kind of also interested in me. I mean, at $27, anybody can afford a course, seriously.
Yes, I think that's great. I think that's a great idea.
So
How long is the course?
It's probably, I have to finish it. It's going to be 30 minutes or less.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll give it to you for free if you want, as a thank you.
Yeah, I love it. Just for myself. I'd love
it. For you. For any, score. Because I think you'll find it informative. You've seen a lot of this, the targeting of the audience, but maybe just some of the other strategies that I have in there. And a thing like the budgeting. So, yeah. So today I think was a good presentation, but I think I lost them maybe at the reference solution thing. What do you think?
Well, if some of these people, because I know some of the people on the list were at the reference solution presentation on Wednesday. So those people probably knew exactly what you were talking about. Right. Other people who aren't familiar with that database might have been a little lost.
Yeah. And it
might have taken just a little bit of explanation for.
Yeah. And I also should have pulled some numbers first. That's like yesterday I did it for Fort Lee, and it was perfect because 2,900 small businesses in Fort Lee on reference solutions and 2,860 on Facebook. Beautiful. Wow. You were way off, like for small businesses and stuff.
Yeah, that didn't sound, that 510,000 from Facebook didn't sound, that sounded
crazy.
That sounded a little weird. Yeah, that was a little weird. Yeah. So on I'm interested in the e-commerce piece that you're doing now. I'm interested in 2 ways. One, information for our volunteers, our mentors. Would you ever be interested in, I don't want to take advantage of your goodwill here, so tell me to stop. Yeah. Would you be interested in presenting to our chapter, our mentors?
Yes, I would.
Talk to them briefly, and it doesn't have to be really a how-to. It may be just like 3 key points or something like that.
Yeah,
to help your clients pivot to online.
I would love to, because we have to save these businesses. So we have to, and so what would a presentation like that look like? Well, if you have a Facebook page, you can have a Facebook store and you can ship directly from Facebook. And so I would show them what's possible, maybe not exactly how to do it, so that when they talk to somebody, they could say, you can create a Facebook shop and sell online. And how would they do that? And it's not hard. So what are the things to consider? They have to have some method of credit card payment, period, which wouldn't be hard. They could even get payment through Facebook, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would definitely go to like a Stripe or a PayPal. But I think it would be, yeah, I would be happy to do that.
Could you do that in October? Or is that too soon?
Yep. I'll be launched by then, but sure, absolutely. It would be good because then the course will be available.
I would love that because our mentors need this information.
Yeah, and I know you can't, I mean, you're like the Postal Service. The Postal Service used to recommend me all the time, and they have to recommend 3. So that's totally fine with me. I understand that. But maybe,
but you know, we recommend 3, but the other 2 are sort of goofy, you know?
Yeah. So what we could do is like a boot camp, an elite, you know, training, supercharge, whatever I want to call it, with people. Like if you can get 25 people to sign, or whatever we can get to sign up, whoever we can get to sign up, and then with the mentors and you, they submit their questions. So if you're selling scarves and I'm selling sweaters or bagels, or they get stuck, who do I target for the bagel audience? Who do I target for the scarves? I would want those questions in advance because I can't always answer them on the fly. I'm not a fashionista, so I do not know fashion people off the top of my head. That's just not me. You know, I'm quite happy with my basic clothes, Kohl's, Chico's. I'm like not, so I wouldn't know all that. And we could do that. So you could, you know, your painter guy, or you could put it out there that this is an exclusive and we limit it, and you charge money for it too. What do you think?
Let me think about that. We don't typically charge.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't.
I mean, no, our chapter doesn't. We can.
Yeah. Here's the reason we want to charge. We get rid of the tire kickers and we get rid of the non-serious people, and we have a much more successful program. If we ask them for money and I sell a program and to be in the SCORE elite, right, with this chapter, it's $25, $50, not a fortune, but something that they have to buck up. You know what I mean? That they will put the time in and can commit to the meeting on the day that it is.
Right. And show up. Because like we had 79 people and we had 20 show up.
Right.
So, you know, charging it doesn't eliminate that completely, but it does get more attendance.
Yeah.
So we would charge like $10.
Yeah, I would charge more, just because if we're doing something elite, $10 doesn't cut it. You know what I'm saying? Up to you, totally. But if you charge like $25 to $50, and if we're making this the elite boot camp, you know, I've charged thousands of dollars to people and have no trouble getting.
Because I have a meeting, a call with our marketing and webinar people on Monday.
Well, yeah. So what we could do is I could do the preliminary training. I'm going to launch it out there. I'm going to target right around Somerset in my targeting, as well as nationwide. Major cities. I've got my targets already done.
So what is this called?
Yeah,
what are you calling this?
Like it's going to be some kind of elite boot camp, the elite retail to e-tail boot camp. Okay,
so this is retail to e-tail.
Yeah.
So could we do first? Hold on, I'm making notes. Could you present to our members?
Mm-hmm.
Our chapter meeting is October 13th at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Could you do, and I'm just talking about a 15.
Yes. October 13th. Let me put it in my calendar now. And I'll have to think about it, because we could do advanced Facebook ads, elite Facebook ads, something else, whatever you think works for your audience. But if we're going to do these elite trainings that I charge hundreds of dollars for, you should definitely charge a little bit more for it, because I just know I've had so many no-shows. It's not enough money. $10. People they don't care. They will care if they spend 25 or 50. You have to see how your people feel about that, though.
Yeah, and we see exactly what you would do, because I might want you to talk with Stellario. Stellario is our marketing guy, and I'm chair of the chapter. He's my vice chair, and
Mhm.
he's very energetic and enthused, and I'm really loving him. Maybe the three of us could talk and figure that out.
Mhm.
On the 13th, I would love it if you, because we have a range of people. Some of the people in our chapter are non-techie,
Mhm.
totally.
Right.
And then we have the Stellarios of the world that are really into exactly what you're doing here. That's his, his
Right.
thing. So the thing would be is, pivoting from or expanding your business from retail into e-commerce online,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
3 ways that customers can do that.
Yes. And get their share of Black Friday. Why
Exactly.
not?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
why not?
And then if it were enough information, that my objective would be to let people know that their clients can do this.
Mhm.
And number 2, give them a resource, which would be you,
Mhm.
to help people do it.
Right. And then if enough people were interested in my training, then we could have some, you know, elite boot camp that's
Yes.
only available through SCORE,
Yeah.
but not for 10. I would really want you to charge a lot more than that, because
Yes.
these would be then your superstars at SCORE. These would be the people that you would put on the front of your magazine if you had a magazine. These are the people that we could hold up and say, look at these success stories. And if we asked $50 extra for this training, it'd be nothing. You know what I mean?
So what would you want for the training? How long would that
sure.
training be?
Yeah, it's probably going to be 2 hours. I'm going to make it really affordable right now. I don't know. Can I get back to you? It might be like 100 and something, maybe 140.
Because what we might be able to do, we have to be real careful with stuff because we're funded by the government. So there you go. But what we might be able to do is pay you to do the boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
So you would do it for us. We would give you a check for doing this boot camp. And, we could talk about what that is, what that price is.
Yeah.
And
Do you
then
think you could get people to buy the course and then we do the boot camp? Is that what you're thinking? That's what I was thinking. It's in like partnership. Could that work?
I'm thinking of paying you to do the 2-hour boot camp for SCORE.
Yeah. So there would be a 2-hour training.
And then you would have access, the people who attend that boot camp then could come to you after for additional help.
So you would want the training that that I'm doing, right? The same training that I'm selling, which is probably going to be like 149, maybe 199 at most. We'll have to see where I wind up. Haven't done.
But I would pay you more than $199.
Yeah. I'd need to get paid a bit more than that. Yeah, I mean,
It's a thought. We did that with someone for, we did it in person, but not now, but we did that for QuickBooks. So we paid him to do a 2-hour, well, it was a morning, I think it was all morning, boot camp on QuickBooks. And that it was a hands-on how to.
And how many people did you get?
We had a limit in terms of the space. I think we got 30.
Wow.
30 people, 25, 30 was our max. That was our space limitation.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do definitely something like that.
That would be easier than sharing the proceeds, I think, just from our restrictions, if you will.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you have probably some. All right. Well, let me get this course together.
I don't want to take advantage of you either. So whatever we do, I would like to make sure that you get paid, and that, we're promoting your business. So hopefully you get some clients out of that. We would pay you certainly for your time and knowledge, and then access to whomever would like to go further with you.
Okay.
But by
That would be good.
exposing you to
Yeah.
all of our mentors, and I suppose there'll be 20, we get from 20 to 25 people at our meetings. So you'd be talking on October, you'd be talking to those mentors who then in turn have lots of, have their own clients.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I
So
think
let's say October 13th, right?
yes.
That would be awesome. I'm very excited about that.
I am too. This is what's going to save American small retail. They've got to learn to sell online now. So,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, I got to go finish my content and start running my ads.
So the objective for the October meeting would be just to let people know this is not that hard to do. Here's 2 or 3 ways your clients can do it.
Yeah.
And if they need extra help, you're a resource for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the 2 or 3 ways would obviously be Facebook and Instagram, and setting up the page and making sure that they have a means of accepting payments online, making sure that they understand that they have to have boxes and bubble wrap and bags and whatever. And then if they get more sophisticated, because Facebook does everything, print you the shipping label and everything.
See, and a lot of I don't know that, see. So
Yeah.
even that basic information is great.
Yep.
Great for our people. What we would need to know just to tell a client, here, this is available, give it a shot.
Yes.
Not how to do it, just it's available.
Right.
The how-to comes either through their own exploration or working with you.
Yep. Yeah, that would be good. And I think it's a nice tool to have. I'll make sure it's very comprehensive and like a step-by-step. I'll create some kind of a handout, maybe an infographic, something good looking that you can slap your logo on.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that this way they can, and just encourage them, because
yes.
so many of the retailers are just in the doldrums and they're just in shock. And this just pandemic doesn't seem to want to end. We're doing good here in New Jersey though. I think. Yeah,
we are.
Which
I have a client who's not even in business yet. Don't even ask me why. She's selling spice mixes, okay?
Oh, wow. She's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You bet.
She has no money. I can't even refer you to her because she has no money. None. Wow. Zero. But if I could help her do this, that might help get her business.
Give her some ideas. Yeah, absolutely.
But there are a lot of other businesses that just need to pivot.
Yeah, and they need somebody to hold their hand a little bit and say, it's okay, you can do this. I've got to put up a shop myself, which is what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Don't know what I'm going to sell because I don't have it. I actually always wanted to sell bird products because I have pet birds.
Really?
Toys, outfit. I don't dress my birds. Some people do. My female bird, though, she has a little jumpsuit because you're never supposed to put a leash on a bird's leg because that's how they break their leg. They break their leg, they die because the infection. So she has this little bodysuit and it has a little diaper built in. And I can put her leash on it. I take her everywhere with me. She's a riot. She's great. She's 25 years old. Yeah. Pardon?
A parrot or a cockatoo?
A parrot, a cockatoo. Yeah, I have 2. And I've always thought I'd like to do bird products, but I want to do, if I do that, I want to do a drop ship business where I don't even touch it, Jane. So I sell online for somebody else and they pick, pack, and ship it. Boom, out the door. But,
Amazon.
You got to do one thing at a time. Right. So I think for the moment, I'll just put up a shop to sell coffee mug. I don't know. I'll find something. But I got to find something to sell so that people can look at my e-commerce shop, So, but anyhow, well, thanks again for inviting me to this. I really appreciate it.
This was great. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I will be in touch with you before October 13th. And we'll
absolutely. Yeah. And if this goes well, I'd love to get it out to some of the other SCORE chapters. I'll contact Nathan and whoever I know. But if you think it's good, let's save small retail businesses, And if I'm doing this comprehensive course at around 100 to 150, I'm trying to be as cheap as possible without giving away the farm. I got to make a living too. It could change their world, you know?
Wow,
We
that's
got to do
fantastic.
something. Yeah.
Very exciting. I love, love, love this. So I'm happy to do whatever I can to help you
Yeah,
promote this.
absolutely.
And I like the boot camp idea. So I think we can do that.
Yeah. See, I think, yeah, we could do that. Would have to be elite. So we're going to make it elite that you have to accept them in. We might do screening questions. We can keep it very affordable, but this is going to be people are banging down your door to get in. That's the way I envision it, right?
Very cool.
What do you think of that? I mean, it's almost like a scholarship. Consider that. But
it's somebody that's in business that has a product or a service, a product, not a service, right? Or
not a
what
service,
about a
a
service?
product. Best to find retail stores. Or we could take people that want to learn some e-commerce, but let's focus on one group. Do you have many retail stores in your? No.
We're not real big on retail. We could partner with a chamber of commerce, maybe.
Yeah, or whoever wants to learn. You know, we can make it very, but it's retail to e-tail. It could even be like bagel shops, but as long as they want to learn how to sell online, and it has to be a product. It'd be better if you could get some retail stores.
Yeah, we can, I'm sure we have enough of those.
Right. We could also get a list of retail stores in your area and contact them and say, and they're not currently.
Do some target marketing.
Huh?
Do some targeted marketing.
Yeah. So we could also say, you're not currently being mentored by SCORE. We have identified you as somebody who could really benefit from this program. And we're reaching out to you. Even if we had to send them letters, we could contact them on Facebook, send them some emails, call them, and make it I would like to make it an exclusive program, especially for you guys, because it'll put you on the map. You know what I mean? Like, not that you're not on the map, but people will then people.
No, I love that. I love that. And we could run it once a quarter or something if we get enough feedback.
And make it by acceptance only. People have to fill out an application. We have to check them out, you know, and that would, people, and then let's get the news involved, right? Yeah. News 12 New Jersey. That would be awesome.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll talk to my people. I'll talk to my committees on Monday. I'm sure they're going to bite on this. It's a little tight for Christmas, but I love the.
Actually, it's not.
Friday.
We can move. Yeah, we can move very fast. Very fast. Now, is it a little tight to build out a full-fledged e-commerce store on Shopify? Yeah. Is it too late to throw a few products up to Facebook and make it easy for your customers to order online? No, it's not. I think we'll do okay. So
we got to get this going. And then we could look at doing something in January maybe, or February, that we would look for something seasonal.
Yeah, like the new year.
Right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, I love this stuff. Okay.
Yeah, me too. All right.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Thanks.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.